it's a video. It's a video.
Ah, it's a video.
Just to have fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
How does that go?
It's
how's
really
it?
good.
So good.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much to let us know that food.
Would you say that is the best one in Seoul?
Oh yeah.
얼마 전에 만났던 세계여행을 하고 있는 스위스 커플을 만나러 가는 중입니다. 이 친구들은 대략 1-2년 정도를 준비해서 세계여행을 하고 있는 커플인데요. 스위스 사람들은 시계와 초콜릿으로 유명하죠. 그래서 시간을 철두철미하게 지킨다고 하는데요. 오늘 그 철저한 스위스 사람들을 만나기 위해서 제가 조금 일찍 나와서 기다려 보겠습니다. There you go, guys. How are you? You got lost.
Yeah, we got
Yeah, it
How's
was
that?
so big on the subway.
How come you eat it with chopsticks and
Ah,
Just
you have
like-
to learn.
Yeah, it was.
Asian
By
people?
making
You guys.
Okay.
So we now have a couple of visitors from Switzerland.
Is this?
Can you guys introduce yourself, please?
We've got beer, so we.
Yeah. We do.
It should be okay.
Come back.
Yeah, come back.
Something.
Sunset.
Yeah, something in French. Yeah, so we are from Switzerland.
Mhm.
It's the French part of Switzerland.
Right.
Yeah, there is three language, and each region of Switzerland has one language. So we come from the French part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what was your name? Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my name is Samantha.
Samantha. I know, but it's a bit hard for me to pronounce your name.
Oh yeah. But mine is Gilles.
Gila. I'm sorry. I was like Gula.
Some people call me Gilou in my friends.
Gilou.
Gilou.
Wow. What is the real name of you?
Yeah. You can choose.
You can choose.
Every night I choose a name, you know.
I think the Samantha is very popular for a movie called
Yeah.
Her. Have you seen it? It's an American movie.
I still like the witch, you know, she can move the noise. You didn't hear about that? It's really famous.
Really?
Yeah, she moves the nose.
No.
And after she has some special power. You know.
I know it. It's an
Yeah.
old drama.
Yeah. It's old,
and
yeah.
the name of the witch is Samantha.
All right.
Yeah,
So popular.
so be
Is that
careful.
your real name? Oh, you do. So is that your real name?
Yeah.
Samantha. What was your last name then?
Granger.
Kong.
But in English it's like ranger.
Yeah.
But in Swiss it's Granger.
Oh. And nowadays in a Korean drama and movie, when the movie has to represent or present some sophisticated person, then she has to speak French.
Yeah.
Like, I learned it for 3 years, but I can't really speak any of them.
No.
Monsieur, my pronunciation is so bad. I don't.
Monsieur.
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 Madame.
Ah.
Je m'appelle Richard.
Richard. It's a
Richard.
French name.
Richard.
Yeah, Richard.
Yeah, Richard.
Oh, it's a lot better.
Yeah.
Richard.
Richard is in French.
Richard. Oh
yeah.
wow, that's great.
It's a really common name in French.
Oh wow.
Richard.
In Korea,
Real name.
you say Richard.
Yeah, actually, it should be like an American way of Richard.
Richard.
But because I mostly stayed in the Australia, so I pronounce my name is like Richard.
Richard.
The accent is a bit different. Richard. It's American
Richard.
one for me, like Richard.
Yeah.
So, but my best friend just call me like Rich,
Rich.
as I want to be.
Yeah.
I am Cash.
Yeah, it's a good start.
Yeah. All right, then we really want to talk about your travel. So these guys here like traveling all around the world as a couple, and it's so amazing. So start from why. Why did you decided to travel?
Yeah, why?
For me, I already traveled 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I did a 2-year travel.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. And I was talking a lot about it when I met Samantha. We met 2 years ago, and I talk a lot about this travel, and she's starting to get like envious and wanted to do it as well.
Wow.
We got our lives in Switzerland, so it was not possible to leave. She had a job and I had a company, and last year I got a chance to sell this company, and once it was like possible to really do it, she proposed to do it and then to quit her job and travel.
Wow.
So
you did it.
Yeah, I know. He told me like, okay, I started my company, and the day after I go to my boss and say, okay, I quit.
Wow.
Yeah, it was spontaneous, but if you wait, it's never the good time. So sometimes you need to be a little bit crazy and say, okay, I do it. But after, I was a little bit afraid.
Yeah.
Like what I've done.
Okay, alright, thanks a lot. Hey, let's come on in. We're talking with camera. Do you still feel fear of it? Yeah.
No, but the first month, it was on March or April, I was like, oh, so cool, I'm going on travel for 1 year, and 2 weeks before going really on the travel, I started feeling really anxious, like what I've done, and if it's not working, if I have a problem, like all the question, and and when you just start your travel, you forget everything.
Yeah, it's a big move when you have like a settled life and suddenly you just put all your stuff in one bag and start to go. It's a strange feeling.
Just say goodbye to family.
And then you guys have a very small bag actually for a year.
It's like a little house.
We have like 1 week of clothes and a little bit of warm clothes because we got to like a cold area, but not we try to keep it simple. It's hard when you have to choose.
And when you are a girl, to have just 1 week, every week the same clothes.
I see, guys. I'm not sure, but better today. You went to sauna here in Korea, so you look better. It's not better. So
thank you.
Like, what was your motivation to propose to travel around the world with your fiance? Or
I always wanted to travel. I really like travel, and I travel a lot alone. I work 3 months in Africa.
Wow.
Yeah, on hospital. It was good. Yeah.
She's a nurse, so
So it was a good experience, and it's like a drug. When you start traveling, you cannot stop, and it was talking about the travel that he made. So I was like, I want to do this, so let's go, come with me, because alone I can do this alone, but I like to share. It's like all memories that we have together, so it's nice to share. Yeah.
Alright, that's great. Actually, what happened to Ami and me was like, she proposed me to travel around the world before we got married. And I told him after. I was a bad guy, but as opposed to yours.
At first you say, but maybe, but it's not the good time. There will be a good time.
Alright. For everyone, probably different time.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. So this is your second time. And I actually traveled to some countries, like in 17 countries by myself, but not without my wife. No, right at the moment. But so before I met Ami, I felt like I don't need to travel anymore. But did you feel that way?
No.
You still like?
Yeah, because each time you discover like a new country, you discover a new culture and new food and so many things. And I always want more. I don't know.
Like you are dependent. You need to discover more and more. And, it's like you do something for you, and you feel the freedom. You travel around, you see the world, so you can never be bored of that.
Apart from that, what is the most challenge that you are facing or you have faced, like while traveling? For those of you who haven't been traveling around the world like you guys? You know? What's the difficulties?
But of course, you are out of your comfort zone, so maybe you can arrive in a place where you don't feel comfortable. I mean, where I don't know, people can look at you not really good, or sometimes also with comfort. You don't have a lot of comfort as we do like budget traveling, so you have to be careful on our dispense. So we don't go in 5-star hotels. We go to guest house or to people's in families. So a lot of time is good. Most of the time is like we meet really great people, but just one time, like one other. Sometimes it happens. You meet a bad person and. But it can happen also in Switzerland or everywhere. So.
It happens in your country when you live in your country, so.
Very positive.
It's just you need to learn how to get out of your comfort zone. And sometimes I remember once I get totally anxious when I enter on the train. It was a night train from in Kazakhstan. And for me, it's I have like bad sleep if there's too much noise, too much people, and I can feel anxious if there is too many people. And I just was expecting to be with 4 people on a cabin, and I arrived, it was like 50 people, and I started to be really anxious, and I say I need to go out of the train, I cannot stay. And I stayed, but and after 1 hour it was okay. But you learn, you say, okay, it's not your comfort zone. There is too many people. It's stink on this train. But after we talked with people, and it was a great experience after. But sometimes you feel like
different one, right?
50% eating and sleeping, and like you feel a bit
and
like,
they're touching you because you're a stranger, and sometimes you feel like it's nice, like it's after you.
But at the end, because we were
like being afraid of traveling.
No. It's like I say, after for me it was like a great experience. Sure. You have like an appreciation, like
and sometimes you're like afraid at the beginning, but afterwards it's one of your best memories. And this is one of them. Where we like get friends with like a full family, and everybody wants to share the food and make photos, and So it's
I don't want to really emphasize on the best thing again and again, but what was the best moment or the country or place you have been to? You don't have to say Korea, please not.
Korea.
How from Korea? Like tell us about. Like,
but first, maybe to explain what we did, we tried to reach Asia from Switzerland. So Switzerland is in center of Europe. So we tried to cross Asia without taking any planes. So this was the first objective. So we took trains, buses, sometimes boats. Sometimes we hitchhike, sometimes we walk. And when we reached Kazakhstan, so like 2/3 or 3/4 of the way, we wanted to start China, but then we got it was not possible to get the visa.
Wow.
So we took a flight, and here we are here in Korea.
Oh wow!
So this took us 4 months to
4 months already.
Yes.
4 months.
And all these countries under Russia are not really famous for tourism.
Really?
Like Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan. All these countries are not really known, at least in Europe. Never. People usually they don't talk about it, so we don't have like we will see this or this in these countries. You don't know nothing about. So when we arrive, we just had no first impression. Impression before. So political is not the same, and and people cannot go really out of the country. So it's really different to talk to these people. One we liked very much was Uzbekistan. The architecture is really.
I think the best things for me was the Turkmenistan. The name is Door of Hell. It's like a gas crater, and it was really amazing.
Oh,
Like,
I saw all
yeah.
the pictures on Instagram, and that is so beautiful that so many people probably recognize it as an artificial. Then
It's not
it's
real.
natural, but
Yeah.
talked about the budget travelers. Samantha, so would you please explain what budget travel?
More easy to because he traveled before, so he said in 1 year I spent like this sum of money. So we say okay, let's do this, and after we have like an application, and I write every things that we pay. And so
Really?
I can have an average.
So organized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Swiss.
I didn't say that. I thought just took money from the bank and go, let's go.
It's
Let's
because-
die on it.
It's not because I want to stay on this budget,
yeah.
but I think it's interesting to know how much I spend on hotel, how much I spend on food, on transport, public transport. It's
Wow.
yeah.
And it's more about
Statistic.
following your disband, or like this you can reach the objective you fix us. But yes, we budget about $1,000 a month to travel.
$1,000 a month.
For two.
Yeah.
For two,
For two.
Yeah.
you need to sleep on the street, right?
No,
Yeah.
it's possible.
Is it possible?
For sure.
Usually it's like $20 for sleeping. Here in Korea it's not possible, but
What will you do after this trip? Then?
Good
Do you have a
question.
plan? Do you have to have a plan?
for Samantha it's more clear because
Yeah, of course. She's like
I can. My boss tell me when you come back, and maybe I
Whenever.
can offer you a job. But
Yeah.
it's not like I have a job. But like as a nurse, it's more easy to find a job.
A lot
Maybe
easier
not the
for
one
around
that
the
I
world,
want,
yeah.
but I can easily go on the job.
Yeah. Do you still want to do that job after this?
Yeah, I want to do this, but maybe on research or starting to go back on my.
she has to do one more year of work before she can do the master.
The master.
yeah,
so I
okay,
will go
so-
back on my, if I can, on my
Your old job.
old job. Yeah.
And okay, thank you. And then
Yeah.
have you got? You sold your business.
So
already,
yeah, I sold
then?
my business.
Do you want to
so
rebuy that?
No, I will start something new, but maybe I will have to work for a company first to get some money to
Okay.
either start a new business,
Wow.
or maybe
I love business
stay-
people. I have a question for you. Like,
Yeah.
what kind of business you are while you're staying here in Korea? What would you bring a business model to your country from Korea? You know,
We
Haven't
talk
found
about
it?
No.
the soup that you hated. That one, no,
Like the
definitely not.
intestine soup for
Yeah,
sure.
no. Sundae국. We talking about sundae국. They hate it so much.
It was the first meal that we had in Korea.
Oh, so sorry.
No,
It was fine.
we love Asian food in general, but
Yeah.
in Korea we find a little bit more than expected about like strange things. Korean restaurant, we have almost no Korean
Yeah.
restaurant in
Like
Switzerland.
bibimbap restaurant. Or,
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta go.
What we saw also ice dog, you know,
Ah yeah, ice
What
dog.
is that?
ice dog. on the
Hot
street.
dog, but ice.
Ice dog.
So clever.
I
don't know.
Koreans are so.
I'm sure that people will like ice dog. I really want like the bread. You do this with like waffle bread,
Mhm.
and like ice cream is like a hot dog but a ice dog. Sometimes we think about funny things.
All right. Right. Because the last question was like the advice is on the future traveler, but you've told us everything already. So the last single question is like a relationship question, like traveling together in a year for a year of time, not in your comfort zone. that you've already mentioned. So, what it's like, honestly, like individually, like what is that?
No, it's challenging. It's but it's nice because you discover the person on the other side, you know.
Other side.
Yeah.
Which you've never been there.
The question is which side?
Never seen. Sorry, I don't want to make you trouble.
The dark side of the moon.
That's nice.
Which is good.
No, but yeah, it's not so easy to live together 24 hours.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And of course we are all
So-
or comfortable, so sometimes we are tired or we are not feel good, and sometimes you can feel some I don't know tension because yeah, it happens.
Of course,
Of
yeah.
course, but
We do a lot.
we share a lot. So and everything, every feeling is more intense when you travel. So your happiness is more intense, but when you feel bad, it's more intense. So sometimes it can be difficult, but you need to find a way to discuss and to have a balance, is to take time for maybe I don't feel like that, but I know sometimes he wants to be alone. So sometimes I think it's important to
Separate.
separate.
During the travel.
Yeah, like
But
1 hour, 2
just
hour a day.
some little time, not like 2 weeks.
Like
separate.
we separate from Copenhagen for about a few minutes.
Yeah,
Actually.
but you know, like when you are at home, you are not always together because we are living together. But it's sometimes you are at work, or sometimes you go to see the friends. So in travel, you are always together. So sometimes it could be hard to spend all this time together.
All right. Wow. Yeah.
But it's good to. Yeah, we have a lot of fun and we share so good moments. It's so true, and like we can feel like we are different people.
Yeah.
So sometimes you need to deal with that. Like I'm full of energy. I always need to move and do something, and you like to be more relaxed and you don't stress. And I'm stressed to do what is the schedule for next things. So you need to learn how to be good together and maybe yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
But it's really good.
Wow.
Experience, and we talk a lot about this and what we feel, and
yeah, it's nice to have somebody to share all these memories. You can talk about it, and you can remember something happens like 2 months ago in another country. Oh, it's the same. And to have like this, it's so great. If you're alone, maybe sometimes. You cannot, even if you're not really alone, you are with different people, but to have the same person to share everything is it's really nice for that. You can remember all this nice stuff and the bad stuff also.
Yeah. It's not always perfect, but it's like in every relationship, and yeah, it's a good test for your couple because you learn how to live together.
Can I cry for that?
Yeah.
I'm so impressed. It's so impressive.
No, yeah, it's.
Listening to someone's some people's life, and especially like travel around the world, and then quitting your job, and experiencing new things and meeting new people, and then sometimes it's like there are some harassments. Today, what I felt like I have read a book, which. Like it tells me something allows me to be out of my box. For the last one that I really wanted to ask you that in your language there is something that you want to speak to the people you love, or speak to the Korean youngsters who want to travel around the world. Can you just leave a message to them, please? Frances.
Alors si vous voulez voyager, je vous conseille vivement de le faire. Il faut sauter dans le bain, dans le grand bain. Ça va vous apporter tellement que c'est même inimaginable.
I don't know how to speak French.
Vous le regrettez pas. Moi, en tout cas, c'est la plus belle chose que j'ai faite. C'est la plus belle décision que j'ai prise. Par contre, c'est sûr, c'est pas évident de se lancer. Alors, je vous le conseille vivement.
Ok, moi, c'est bien. Non, bah, je regrette pas du tout d'être partie. Mais c'est une super expérience et puis si je devrais refaire, je le referais chaque année. Vraiment, ça. Faut pas attendre, il faut y aller. Voilà. Et on est là. Voilà.
Thank you so much for this time, and it was so
Nice to meet you.
yeah
Guys.
nice to meet you guys.
Yeah,
thank you
and
again.
maybe when you are coming in Switzerland, we will do a video game.
Sure,
So,
definitely.
what the feelings of Switzerland,
Yeah.
how you feel. Yeah, let's do that.
You guys are
Because
so
you are
talented,
coming
so
to
let's just start
Switzerland.
with YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, here are we. Some stars with Samantha, and then here is Jill. I'm sorry.
Gilles.
Jill here, and then we talked about their traveling and then relationship as well as traveling tips. And thank you so much for listening to our channel. And then we now close. Thank you. Okay. Matting on my face.
No, yeah, if you can do it.
Okay.
We are the ones who travel.
You guys look nice.
Yeah, nicer than ever. You
Yeah.
say just we have just one last question.
Yeah.
Say hello to your
Catchy.
public. Hello.
Come back, please.
Cheers.
Yeah,
Thank you.
cheers.
Come back.